Well, where did you find these items at? Oh, really? Well, these are a great find. Can you tell me about these two clocks? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Do you mind if I tell you a little bit more information about these mantle clocks? Okay, great. Well, mantle clocks, or shelf clocks, are relatively small house clocks, traditionally placed on a shelf or the mantle above the fireplace. They were first developed in France in the 1750s. These clocks are often highly ornate, decorative works. They're most relatively constructed of ormolu, porcelain, and wood. The more rare and expensive mantle clocks would be made of like gold, silver, even brass, and some other rare metals. Yeah. An early example of the mantle clock would be that of Simon Willard shelf clock, or half clock, and sometimes known as the Massachusetts shelf clock, which was a relatively economical clock for its time. You heard of it? Oh, that's great. But these were produced by the celebrated Simon Willard's Roxbury Street workshop in Boston, Massachusetts, around the first decade of the 19th century. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As for the clocks that you have brought in, these are not the works of Simon Willard. These would be reproductions. Mm-hmm. But they're still very great pieces. If we take a look at, let's take a look at the first one. If we take a look at the design and the just the craftsmanship that are put into these, with this one here, you'll see the base was made to be as long as the clock itself. It was given a very sleek, elegant design where it goes up and over the clock face and back down again. Almost a modern touch to it. It's made of wood. More likely pine or cherry wood. It has a dark cherry finish. Mm-hmm. If we look at the clock face itself and the casing to the clock face, casing is a brass casing with a glass window. The clock face itself, although we cannot open the clock casing itself, the clock face would normally be made out of porcelain. The hour hand and the minute hand are very decorative and ornate. The second hand is more plain and normal, which really doesn't go well, in my opinion, with the hour hand and the minute hand. As you can see, it has normal numerals 1 through 12, which also really doesn't go well with the hour hand and the minute hand. But it's still a very fine piece. If we go to the second clock, okay, as you can see, it has 1, 2, 3 tiers on top. The first and the third are more decorative with these grooves. The second one is more rounded. The base is again very decorative with grooves. It has 4 feet that are kind of plain, not really decorative feet. It's more than likely constructed just like this one, of pine wood or cherry wood. It has a lighter cherry finish, unlike this clock. Also, like that clock, this door can open. It has 2 brass hinges on the side here, a brass knob, and a brass latch. And if we open the latch, we gain access to the clock face itself. The door has glass window, which is held in by these little triangular wedges made out of metal that are normally hammered into the wood before the glass is put in, and then they are bent down in order to hold the glass in place. If we look at the clock face, now unlike this one, the clock face on the second one here is more detailed, more decorative. Let's take a look at the corners. First off, it's a brass faceplate. If we look at the corners, it's very decorative with branches, leaves, and flowers. And in the center of each one is a little figure. It appears to be an Aztec figure. Very well detailed with jewelry, facial features, and a very well detailed headpiece. That's on each corner. This one has Roman numerals 1 through 12. The centerpiece is very decorative with branches, leaves, and flowers. The hour hand and the minute hand are less decorative than this clock, but the hour hand, minute hand, and second hand do match each other, unlike this clock. But yeah, if we close this, I'd like to show you the backs of these two clocks and give you a little bit more information about that as well. Okay, as you can see, the innards of the clock, on the first clock here, is, well, the casing is made of plastic. It has this little compartment with a door, and this clock would be battery operated, as well as this one, but this one here is encased inside the clock itself, as you can see right here. And then there's the battery compartment. In contrast to wall clocks, whose movements were attached to the backboard, the shelf clock had its movements supported by a seat board. Simon Willard's shelf clocks were weight driven. Some models had a extended base for the weight, so they achieved a 1 week running period. They also featured a pinwheel escapement. Their strike mechanism was the rack and snail. The pendulum length could be adjusted through a clock hole that would be located at the 12 o'clock position. That way it wasn't necessary to have to open the case constantly. Do you have any idea what a mantle clock is valued at? Okay. A Simon Willard's clock in perfect condition can be purchased and sold for anywhere between $50,000 US dollars to around $250,000 US dollars. These two clocks, on the other hand, in today's market and the condition that they are in, I would value these two clocks at around $150 US dollars to $250 US dollars each. You're very welcome. Thank you for bringing these items in and sharing them with us. You have a good day.